Okay, this folder should have some of those pictures in it from Sam. So,
Yay!
yeah, it, you've sent me pictures, throughout this whole process, and I've been putting everything that Sam sends me goes into, a certain folder. But there's
Yeah.
three of it now. There's three Sam folders. So why isn't it?
Tara, I try not to worry about the powers that be. I try to,
Yeah,
live and let live and just, if they want to misbehave, then I guess they're gonna. And our best deal would probably just be aware and awake, and you'll notice things that maybe they don't want you to notice. But I watched the sea trails yesterday, right at, of course, when the best viewing was, and I've been watching it ahead of time as well, but they finally showed up, and this time they put a bunch of dashes across the sky instead of just one long one, and there were many of them dashed out. They were running out of aerosol. Um, but yeah, they really broke up the view, and that's the way your eye doesn't see that big round ball. So no telling what they're going to do, and I mean it's kind of toxic, and I think they do a lot of the spraying so that the atmosphere will actually refract a good portion of the heat and the light that's coming in. So some of those sea trails are actually for our benefit, even though they are mostly toxic. It's full of metals and aluminum this and aluminum that and silver iodide and God only knows what other chemistries in there. I did not look
Wow.
at that. I've avoided going into too much military information because I didn't want to get in trouble with anybody.
hmm,
And I'm a good little American, and I have no ill will toward my government. So therefore, I mean, I like to live once in a while in the ignorance is bliss column. And there you go, Emaru Sumerian for light. Oh, interesting.
I mean, there's some things that are just kind of out of our control, guys, and there's really not no use or sense in driving yourself crazy about it.
Yeah, don't be
So,
fearful of the transition. Just be aware,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then focus on your world. And for example, we can't really focus. Oh God, here we go. We can't. Israel and Iran. Wow. They have been sitting here throwing snowballs at each other for the last 30 years, 40 years. I mean, ever since the formation of Israel against the regional will, the United Nations sort of created the Israeli scenario right after post World War II. So they would have a place to put all the displaced Jewish folk. And that was kind of crammed down the throats of the Arabs and the Palestinians and everything. And they've never quite gotten over that as well. Although, the Sunnis and the Houthi and all of that have all been arguing amongst themselves for so many centuries as well. And then that's part of the war that's going on there. And then you got the aspect of Russia effect and Chinese effect, and then yet what's going on in Yemen and all of that right now, and Qatar, and oh well. Anyway, so let's just hope they all stop treating each other for shit and start realizing that we got a lot more in common. Like, hey, let's pay attention to climate change, maybe.
So when is
Feed
Bluebeam
our
going to
people a
happen
little
and
better,
turn
give them
everything
better
around?
housing. Well, they're not going to be able to run all of their money crap without us. So they better start saving some of our asses. Because a lot of those
Yeah.
poor folk over there in the Arab countries and the Israelis and Palestinians and everybody else along Egypt and Libya, those folks are in trouble. So you guys better get your shit together and stop shooting at each other and start feeding your people. That's all there's to it. You got the damn money, feed your people.
I can't
It's
believe
that
how they
damn
use
simple.
their people as pawns, man.
Well, you
That's
don't need
so.
$1 million houses and $1 billion fleets of cars and the Saudis and all of these guys. They've got all the money in the world. Feed your damn people beyond. I mean, hey, do something nice and feed somebody else's country because they're suffering. Be nice. Show how good you can be, not the fact of how wealthy you are.
Right, you should see this Sultan of Brunei's home here in Las Vegas. This thing is like, there's one main house, and then he's got like 5 individual homes for all his, mistresses or his wives. I don't know how it works, but
We can't
Yeah,
guess.
they've got them up here in
it
the
must be
Highlands
like-
too, Chris.
it's insane. It must be like 15 acres and, like 200,000 square feet of living space or some astronomical number like that. It's the most beautiful, property I've ever seen. But my gosh, come on. He's never been there.
They
If we
just had
stop-
some kind of court case fighting with a farmer who wanted to be able to see something that he always used to be able to see, and these guys built something so that another wife could come and stay in it, and they didn't like it, so they had this big fight a couple of years ago.
Wow.
It's
A lot
just
of that's
weird.
going on. Yeah, we gotta start looking, remembering who our neighbors are, and those are the friends.
Yeah.
And of course, these people have all the money in the world, so they can be arrogant assholes. We can't let that happen anymore. And they're going to go so far where eventually people are going to go, no more, we're done. And then you're going to have a revolution of some sort that they're not even prepared for, and I can't even imagine. At some point in time, people are going to have enough of rich people. I made a joke a week ago. Feed poor people, eat rich people.
Oh, look, there they are. The baby's arriving.
Yeah, and this is like 2009-ish, 10-ish. This is the Anno Domini cross. This is when. Now remember that orange thing behind there. See that big orange circle?
That ring thing, the
That's
fuzzy ring.
Immeru. Behind the star, and there's a planet in front of the star. And then you just go to that orbit model that we use on Montana Skywatcher, and it all makes sense.
Incredible. Now, can you just give us a basic understanding of what Immeru is again?
Immeru is a large gas giant, so big you couldn't even imagine. And it's kind of like an electron cluster. It's the central atomic structure between the two atoms that hold the two stars and the two solar systems.
So it's like
And
the
that's
glue
what
that
this
holds everything
gentleman
together.
on the earlier video doesn't get, and that's what the guy from Chile viewed and then cross-referenced as the brown or reddish Nibiru, because they were looking off in distance of space, and maybe they had an idea, but I don't know. I don't know where they got their information. This, of
Talking
course,
about
is
Carlos Ferrara.
right.
Talking about
Right.
Carlos Ferrara.
This is 2010. 2000.
Early on in my rabbit hole hunting, he's one of the ones that I came across, and I found him very interesting. But after knowing a lot of what I know now, I see that he had some of his information. Well, I mean, I don't think he took into consideration the electric universe, and I think that's where a lot of these astrophysicists go wrong.
Yeah, they're just taking. They think gravity. They're stuck in the Einstein bubble, and
he was calling it a comet planet. That it was part comet, part planet. What was incoming, and
Interesting.
that's kind of where he lost me. Where I was like, yeah, but
Right.
I don't know.
Um,
I don't know about this.
Never heard of
think, I think not.
yeah.
But it was useful,
Well,
in my early learnings of this stuff. It was somewhat useful to kind of pique my interest and then send me to where I am at now, basically. But it is very important, guys, to take all these bits of truth and then kind of see what fits, and what
And
what
all of
does it
those
do?
models are talking about a single pass event. And now this gentleman,
that's they
earlier
never.
on the show.
You're the only one that's ever brought up everybody's talking about a rogue planet, a rogue this, a rogue
Right.
that.
traveling
But
without a
you
star.
can't have,
Yeah,
you don't really have planets without a star.
right.
they're not
Because you can't
just-
have people living on those
everything has-
planets.
Everything
without
has a
having their own
structure to it. Nothing's just flying out willy nilly like you say, Sam, out in space.
Right. It's a chemistry equation. We are a compound with two atoms from two elements that are joined in, and they've always been there in the creation of our solar system. We've always had two stars. There's always been that main thing, and this other previous guy was talking about the breakup of Tiamat. Well, that is hypothetical based on the Oort cloud, which between Mars and the gas giants here in our thing, and their concept of it doesn't take into account the shell structure and atomic structure of the planets. And that's, and we've talked about, well, then the gas giants, which are very massive, and we know that they have an internal mass that draws in the gases from space. That's why we can't see their inner workings, because they're gas laden, and yet they're way out there, and they're big and huge, and they could never be, if this was gravitational, those things would be closer to our sun. And then you'd have the dark matter holding it back, which is where this whole crazy dark matter thing comes from. And there's some level of correctness to dark matter, but generically that's just Einstein going, well, I figure there's something, and that's why I call it dark matter, because we don't know what it is, but it's this dark force. No. Chemistry, electrical, answers all the equations, answers the gravitational placement, answers the recycling of it happening cycle after cycle, and it's not going to break up. It just happens over and over again. And this is why we know there's been many societies here on Earth prior to us. And we see evidence of it all the time in things that we can't do when we find these artifacts that are buried in coal and they're 1.5 million years old. Because there was other societies back then as well. And you have to remember, 65 million years ago was when the dinosaurs died.
Wow.
What kind of history do we have in between there to all the way to the 13th century, or the 8th century, or the 400s, or the 200s, or the 200 BC, or 100 BC, or 500 BC? Do you know how much distance between 500, 800, 1000 BC, 2000, 4000 BC is to 65 million years?
Incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, how many cycles?
Well, imagine how far these societies also gone, Sam, and in the time, look how far we've gone, just a couple hundred years,
Right, and we talk about that video, the Pleiadian message, where they're telling us.
And also look at go ahead, Sam.
Well, they're telling us in the Pleiadian message, they're saying 300,000 years ago there was a fight over the top outside of Earth for control of the Earth, which I've known about. Okay, that's why I agree with this video and why I was.
Well, and there's look at these ancient paintings, Sam, where it depicts a war in the sky, but it depicts them as angels. I think it's misinterpretation of people who didn't know any better. That was their way of explaining what they were seeing in the sky.
Absolutely.
Right, and you go back to pictographs, even the Hopi and the Aztec, and even the pre-Aztec communities, and you go around the world, and they draw the Imru circle and the 2 stars all the time. Yeah. And everybody goes, "Oh, it's just a border around 2 stars." No, it's actually 3 objects standing there in these pictographs, all over the Hopi, all over the Nazca pictographs, all of it. It's recorded all over caves all over the world, and it's even in Egyptian tablets where they've got the big extra sun over the top of the visiting gods. There's that big red star, which is a standard red star. And they talk about the coming of the gods and all of this throughout Egyptian lore. And the Anunnaki do the same thing. The Sumerians talk about the visitation of the gods and how the god kings came and raised these civilizations. And you go back to Adam and Eve, and all of that, even in the Bible, is all talking about that. In the lost book of Ezekiel and all of this stuff has been manipulated.
Agriculture and wheat, I believe, are believed to not be from
Earth. Genetically not from Earth.
Yeah.
And we were changed and we were placed here as a workforce. We were given a food source in order to do.
Agriculture, learning agriculture, teaching us agriculture kind of, catapulted us into the society that we are today. I mean, or else, it really kept us from starving and coming out of the caves, and progressing and evolving, as quickly as.
Well, you also have to go back to even pre-Ice Age. The entire Earth wasn't frozen. The middle of the Earth was warm, tropical, normal, with 2 major glacial came down halfway down the middle of the United States. It didn't go all the way to Baja or the Yucatan Peninsula, and then the Antarctica didn't come all the way up through South America. No, the middle band of the Earth was warm, and there was cultures living there. And even before that, there was lost cycles, and then there was catastrophe in 5,000 some odd. I'd have to do the math real quick again, but whatever year, another 3,654, or not, just add another 4,000 years, so it would be 57 BC, etc. There was the Great Flood and all of this, and there was a civilization before that, a civilization. Anyway, I am being told it is pizza cutting time,
Okay, Sam.
so I'll be right back.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, wow. It's good to see everybody together like
Right?
this. You know, it's cool how we all made it.
Definitely.
We all made it.
I want to say hi to William. William finally.
Oh.
I think in the last show I was kind of calling him because he'd been disappeared for a little bit, but he came
Right.
back and I guess he got the message.
Good.
So now he's saying hello. I'm just want to say hi, buddy. Thanks for tuning in. You know, always good to have you here. And if you ever want to, come hang out,
Right.
let me know. We'll make it happen. I know you are a great
For sure.
skywatcher. So,
Yeah,
anytime.
that'd be fun.
Anytime you want to come on, hop on, and let me know. We'll make it happen. So,
Right.
yeah.
I'm always
But it
looking
is
for
really-
another guest. So
Yeah.
right.
But yeah, it is really nice to be hanging out here. With all you guys.
Absolutely.
It's always nice.
Yeah, I
Right.
love your video this week, Jesus, where you were
Yeah, it was.
Online.
It's been so boring lately. But yesterday I got
Yeah.
a little bit of action, and I'm thinking opacity, but
I don't know if I
those
saw it.
those colors were a little different. But I have it ready for whenever. You want to wait till
Oh.
Sam comes back? See
Yeah,
what he
you
says.
got it. Okay, good.
Yeah,
Yeah, share it
check it
when
out.
he gets back. Perfect.
It didn't. I didn't. Things are just so
Mhm.
close right now that it's hard to really photograph
It is,
them.
it's like, what's going on?
I know.
Yeah, it's just
And,
filling the entire sky, and I cannot get a good picture of it. I had to wait until the sun was down and the colors kind of started popping up, where I was like, okay, now I think I can tell the difference in a video between blue sky and the freaking planet, because they've just been so huge. It's hard to catch anything. I've been getting a lot of night stuff happen, but it's really hard to photograph or record anything at night. It just isn't the same. So, but I had a little bit of fun yesterday. It was pretty fun. So it was a little something. So that was good. How about
After
yourself, Rebecca? Are you getting anything out there in Oklahoma?
Any weather?
Any
you
sky action?
Oh no, it's been pretty empty the last couple of days. Like
Yeah.
today has been totally clear, but it got
Mhm.
kind of warm. But it's not. I'm outside,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I am enjoying that because I spent how many months cooped up inside, when I wanted to be out here, really. So
Yeah.
anyway,
And I hear you have no air conditioner in your
not in that one
in
room.
your
Yeah,
little-
the room
in
that
your
I've been
room,
in.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like mainly a storage
Yeah.
room, and so it's hot in the summer. We don't really go in there,
And I'm
but
back.
I don't want to sit in there too much. But after we show Jesus's video, I have that video to show about the anomaly in the ocean. So stay tuned
yeah.
Oh,
for that.
interesting.
What is that?
Interesting.
There's an anomaly happening. So
It's a-
anyway,
Yeah.
we'll do Jesus's video first.
All right.
Well, here we go. All right.
Oh boy.
Oh yes.
So this was sunset.
Oh.
Yesterday. So yesterday, right after
I love
as
that.
the sun was going down. It was a little bit after sunset. As the sun was already below the horizon. So I was able to get a little bit of color, but again, really difficult to photograph. But this is what I got, and I was like, well, this is nice. I was thinking opacity. What do you think, Sam?
You're right. The white area at the bottom is Saru, and the bluish area, bluish green,
Wow.
is Nepacity.
Yeah, I thought so.
Man.
That blue
Okay.
That blue
And
turquoise.
The yellow down at the bottom is the real sky.
Just that one little piece.
Yep, that
But you
one
can
little
see
sliver.
something else.
Uh-huh.
Gosh.
Yeah, you can see something reflecting the sun right behind the Pesity. You know,
Yep, that's the bottom of Saru.
Wow.
So
She is-
wouldn't you
she's really
say
big.
at the top, the dark blue is Atu's moon in front of
Yeah, it
Nefessity?
would probably be
or
yeah.
Atu?
Question is, do we have Yuri in the mix also?
Mm.
Hard to call. If I
right,
was
where
out
is
there watching
Yuri?
it myself, but yeah, Atu is above us directly, generically, and
I
then
was
the
thinking
Atu.
Atu's moon. I was thinking Atu's moon was my guess. In
Yeah.
front
Yeah,
of.
I'd give you that. You filmed it, so
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because I did see Yuri was
I gotta
far
find-
to the left
sorry.
from what I was seeing.
My
Yuri was far to the left. I was basically surrounded by them. You know,
Wow.
every direction there was something going on. But this was the best shot of what I can get. You know.
yes, we are swimming in between the planets right now.
Yeah.
I was trying to find your drawing for it, and I don't think I have it in this folder. Anyway, you have a good drawing where it's Atu's moon in front of Nefessity. I use it all the time.
And
Anyway,
I love how
yes.
the
Kind of like
the
this.
asteroid group of Atu's coming out a lot.
Kind of like that.
Yeah, well, we are in the 180-day close pass cycle, so we're going to see a lot of asteroids.
exactly what I.
Oh my goodness.
That's exactly what I saw. Exactly. It was
Yeah.
Nefessity, and then right to the slight left, you could see Atu's moon. You know, but as it progressed, it kind of centered a little bit more towards.
And
the
now
middle, but that's
Saru's in the background is
absolutely-
behind Yuri.
Exactly.
Wow.
In fact, I have another video that I'll post later that was more in the midday. Well, not midday, but like maybe an hour or two before this, it was still blue, which is a hell of a match to that.
This is what I'm
drawing.
talking about with the nighttime illumination right at sunset. You can see the
Yeah,
light
yeah.
angle has changed, and you can see the bottom of the planets are being illuminated.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Tonight,
I
you go out tonight, go out, look to the west at sunset, watch after sunset. Go out and sit in your yard at your picnic table or whatever and sit and watch this. And once you realize the rounding of these bottoms of these big, huge bodies, and then you see the light shining on the bottom of them, and it gradually changes. And then if you get to watch that change and the light, it'll show you the rounding even more as it transcends. So I've been watching the last couple of 3-4 nights.
I was gonna. Do you think Shelley talked about how she said, "I feel like the Earth is surfing," but is that have anything to do with like people having vertigo, or is that a physical problem?
Yeah, well, yeah, we're all
Planets
feeling
around.
affected by the passing planets, from headaches to ear ringing to nausea to being on the deck of a ship, to feeling the ground vibrating.
Fatigue.
I feel like I'm getting electricity passed on down from my top down to my leg. That's kind of what it feels like for me.
No.
That's why this is why I've been resorting to grounding more than I typically do, because I feel
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
out of
that
house
pain in the
today.
top of my head
Kind of
disappeared ever since I was out in the garden for 2 days. I just stay out in the garden. If it's not raining, then I just go out and dig around, and I try to.
Are you wearing your shoes or are you
how
barefoot?
much time you
Huh?
limit your
Shoes.
time you're spending
Mhm.
out in the sun, Jillian.
Yeah.
It's
Not
the
good for you.
UVs.
Sun
Are
in
you barefoot or are you
Scotland.
wearing
The
shoes?
UVs are off the chart right now, so try to be careful how much maybe wear a
Big
hat or something.
Okay,
Yeah,
let me
no, I
get that.
just
How
video.
are
but
you-
then this
How are
whole
you
week I've
feeling?
got.
How are you feeling, Jillian? Are you all right? You good? So
Well, I'm getting really faded now. It's been quite tough sitting still here for a while now, but
yeah, you look a little tired. You look a little
Yeah.
hopefully you'll be all right, man. But
I'll sleep
if
well
you-
tonight. But
I was gonna say,
I
if
just want
you're-
it to be better now. It's
Right.
been hard this week, but it had to be done.
Right.
we'll get through it. We have to.
If you need to go, you can. You can listen to us, but
Yeah, you're
don't feel
not going to miss
bad.
anything.
Don't feel bad if you need to. Okay.
I always hate cutting out. I always think I'm missing something.
I know, but you could just lay there and listen. You wouldn't miss anything that way. See,
Yeah.
it's whatever you want to do,
Yeah.
So, here, let me go ahead and get that video of this anomaly, and maybe
Yeah, I'd love to
talking
see
about
that.
we're talking about an area of high waves happen in just a random area. Okay.
Yeah, there
This is
was.
so weird.
I think England got hit with a whole bunch of waves this week as well.
Okay.
Are you? Did you guys
West
see
of
that
Africa.
spot that they've been
Waves
talking
swell to-
about? Is that
Yeah,
what you're talking?
they said it was an anomaly in the
They said it was an
program.
anomaly, but yeah, see that this.
Yeah, this is it, yeah.
They
Coming up
said
from
it's an anomaly, but
Antarctica or something, right?
I don't know.
Something spot was going over.
I don't
It's
know.
like
Let's
coming
find
from
out.
Antarctica going up the east coast of Africa.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's see.
Well, the
I haven't-
temperature
I haven't
variant.
Right there on top, like
I haven't watched these even. I just heard about it and saved them.
Right.
So we're gonna find out together because I'm not sure other than high waves. So,
Odd
Yeah,
wave
I
anomaly
saw that
west of
first where they were
Africa.
they were
Waves
discounting
swell
it
to
and they
over
said it was an
25
anomaly.
feet
Where'd it
out
go?
of nowhere.
sorry. I
Odd
didn't want to
wave
hurt them.
anomaly west of Africa. Waves swell to over 25 feet out of nowhere over an area bigger than
wait a
Texas.
minute. Wait a minute. Remember, guys, that asteroid that came in yesterday?
hmm
We never heard
Something's
about
big bug.
splashdown.
Okay.
Interesting.
This could be it right here. It was 9 meters. I even wrote the name of the damn thing down somewhere. And they had just discovered it 2 days prior. I would bet you money they're calling it an anomaly, but I would bet you money that that's where that asteroid hit because they were talking about an ocean hit.
Well, the fact that they so quickly came up with the anomaly excuses makes me really suspicious about it.
Yeah, I saw it before that. I saw that they were announcing it
But I
was
was
an
seeing
anomaly.
today,
before I saw the other.
our geomagnetic, whatever guy was, he posted that they had officially called it an anomaly, that a mistake or something, that
I
didn't.
could really quick.
It
and
never
learn.
happened, but I don't really. I think I'm a little bit more suspicious that it was something that they're just not wanting to talk about.
All right. But
Let's see.
that's typical,
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, they had
very
only
typical.
discovered it like 1 or 2 days before it came in. Let me go to the National Bowie thing and see if I can look up yesterday.
look at it moving.
I don't know, anomaly. I don't know.
Moving.
That's-
And this is like 2,000 miles across.
Jesus, look at that thing.
Wait a minute.
And
Goes
went to the
almost like a
wrong
ladybird
side.
with its wings. Look
What?
at its wing.
Oh wait, they're reversing it. Surely they're reversing it,
Hmm.
right?
I don't know.
It's not going back, is it? Is that?
Well,
Well,
it was
how
expected
big
to hit
was
the
this
Pacific Ocean. The guy I
You said
watched
it's
talk
on
about it.
You said it was
Uh,
9 meters, Sam.
Yeah, it was 9 meters.
85 feet waves.
Is that? I mean, I know it's hard to. That's a difficult question, but is that 2,000 miles? Is that something? Or how many? How big they said that was? You said 2,000
Well,
miles.
if-
Or 2,000?
Something like that, yeah.
if you take a bullet and you bring it in at 500, 600, 1,000 miles an hour, or however fast a bullet travels, and you hit the ocean with it at the right oblique angle, it could create a huge splash. Or maybe
it's
they weren't giving
definitely
it the right size. But we
So
never
it is
did hear
definitely
anything about
possible.
splashdown at all.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
This is some sort of glitch in the system.
Interesting.
I've never seen anything like this. This
And
giant
what about all
wave
the
showing
boats that are
80.7
traveling through that
foot
area?
waves.
There
This
must
does
be
not seem to
hundreds
sort of
and
stop,
hundreds
so
and hundreds of
zoom back out.
ships.
Something massive
gonna-
left
Projected to go.
Antarctica
Watch
during
this.
the
Here's Friday
eclipse.
the 12th
Okay.
tomorrow. Moving up the African
What about
coast.
the
Today is
ships?
Saturday the
I mean,
13th. We
because
see it start
there must be a lot of people. If they're talking about 85-foot waves, there must be a lot of problems with the boats.
Absolutely.
And
Off
if
of
an
Antarctica. There's a theory
asteroid
Yeah,
that
there's
an
crashed,
asteroid released off the
oh my
bottom of the
gosh.
ocean on this part of Antarctica and rose
That's
up
not
to the
good.
sea surface, causing these
Well, I
Well,
wonder.
there is
Let's see
no-
what else surfaces in the next week or so. When it comes to this,
If it's all he's talking.
This is not-
Okay.
Odd wave anomaly west of Africa. Wave
It was
swell
mainly
to
it, I
over
guess.
25
There's a lot of
feet
people
out
talking
of
about it. I
nowhere
know that.
over
Are they talking
area
about this
bigger
on the
than Texas.
news? No.
They won't tell you nothing.
No.
I don't know.
Well,
I have not heard.
we did not
about
hear
that.
anything about splashdown of that asteroid, and this could entirely be it. Although, like I said, I thought it was going to come down in the Pacific Ocean, but it could have come down into the Atlantic, and they had just discovered it 2 days prior. So, there could be more on the way. By the way,
But okay, I mean, if it was splashdown,
I've-
would the
I've had a few asteroid streaks today, that I know were not sea trails. I absolutely know that they were. They came out of nowhere.
and remember, they only discovered it 2 days ago.
Yeah.
but wouldn't it splash like out, like in all directions? I could.
Well,
to
yeah,
me, it's
but
going
then-
like it's going somewhere. It's like on a journey.
Well, that's why I was just checking the Bowie list, and there is no. I mean, of
Uh-huh.
course, they're going to shut down if they don't want people to know about it. They're going to shut down the sites that will give the answers, up to a point, or So let's pay attention to it. They call it an anomaly. We knew that everybody was talking about that asteroid that was coming in, and it was 2020. I gotta look and see if I can find that list. I wrote it down. Grab my old list for this week and see if I can find it really fast. No, not on that one. This is. Sorry, I take forever. Okay. Devil's Comet. Global Telepathic. All right. Still looking. Apologize. I apologize. Not there. Not there. Did I look on the back of that? No, it's not there. I am not finding it. And I apologize.
Yeah.
Wow. And I wrote it down too, and I'm not finding it. Matthew. All right, who's been messing? It's a conspiracy. Someone's messing with my notes. I'm sorry, I can't find it. I found another one. Wait.
What about like an underwater craft? Could that do it? Like
No, not this is some. A 25-foot wave is really high when it comes
yes.
to the ocean. A Devil's Comet. No. Okay, I wrote it down. I even did the math for it. It passed, supposedly, was going to pass 11,600 miles away from us, but then they changed the announcements midday and started saying that it was going to hit Earth. Okay, Earth-facing sunspots. No, I cannot find it. Maybe it's out in the living room. Okay, I found 2 more sheets. Let me see. Close approach. I got it. Close approach asteroid 2024 GJ2. And it was a 3-meter asteroid, and it was 0.05 lunar distance when discovered. 11,600 miles away. Was what they thought was going to pass, but then they, like I said, they rechanged it and said they thought it was going to hit. So it's very possible that that's what that was, but we didn't even hear that it did hit. I haven't heard a thing about it after the fact. So
Right.
And then I was talking to somebody and I said, "Did you know this thing's about to hit in about an hour?" And then I believe I mentioned to Nicole that it was going to happen any time now. The other day.
What
So
was it that was hitting? Sorry, is a comet?
Yeah, the asteroid. The
asteroid.
Yeah, GJ2 2024 GJ2 was listing on the NEO, and they only discovered it 2 days ago.
I get it. I remember.
Came out of the darkness, and they went, "Oh, look, this thing is on its way here."
You did. You shared something with me about that. You sent me a link on that.
Right.
Yeah.
So was that on the 9th? Did that happen on the 9th?
No, it was literally like yesterday or the day before. It was either the 12th, 11th, or yeah.
I'll look at my messages.
Probably the 11th,
I
think.
Find it.
I was having a really weird day on the 11th, so that was probably it.
Oh my gosh. It was like such a bad day.
Well, I
Fears go to the day. It was such a bad day. So I don't know.
over copied on antihistamines, man. I was doing drugs, man.
Lucky you
Just
to not
doing
want
laps
to
of
only
music
need
land.
Claritin once. Half a Claritin?
Yeah, yeah, half a
Lucky
Claritin.
you.
I don't do
Lucky you.
antihistamines well at all. I become a four-thumbed idiot, and I trip on shit. I get tired. I get sleepy. You know, and that's why I take Claritin, because you don't get drowsy, but or less drowsy, I should say. But I was running a Claritin high until 11 o'clock in the evening. Like, wahoo! You know,
Have you ever?
Well, you know-
You should. You know, when I do take, I don't typically take anything for allergies because I kind of want my
I don't
body
either.
to kind of adjust to it. But sometimes here, like during this time, we have so much things blooming that it's just.
no,
kicks
I
my
couldn't
butt.
stop sneezing. I was just hacking and coughing and
Yeah,
sneezing.
yeah.
and
Well,
couldn't
what happens
quit.
to me is my eyes just get
Right.
they
Yeah, my
swell
eyes
up
were
and
burning and everything. Yeah, my
burn.
nose was running, and I was
But
coughing.
I
and
take
sneezing.
one called Zysol, and it's much
Yeah,
better
you can
than
take it at nighttime.
yeah,
It makes
yeah,
you
and
sleepy,
it's
and
great.
so you
It's
can
great.
take it at nighttime. I take
It
that
is
too. It's
I'll
the
have to look
strongest
into
one
that.
you can take.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the one with
much
the owl.
better than anything else. Yeah,
Yes, that's the one with the owl.
Lysol. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, and you guys can mail us that commercial check anytime now.
I take 2 of those.
Oh,
and
sorry, guys.
Then 2 more of
That and
those.
Ricola.
and-
These pictures are from Maria in
Ricola,
Alaska.
Ricola.
I like all her trees and mountains.
Those things don't taste good. So sorry. I don't
What,
like those.
Ricola?
Yeah,
I like them.
I don't like the way they taste.
It's an acquired
Hey,
taste.
you want funny tasting, you should try a Fisherman's Friend.
I don't
Wow.
want funny
Set your
tasting at
body
all.
on fire. My dad loved those. He just swore
Yeah,
that
Jillian
they.
mail me 3 packs of them, and wow, they're powerful.
Have you tried a few?
I did one last show. I was, I can't keep them in my mouth very long. They're powerful, but I pop them in, set them down. I got this little stone that I use where I put my cough drops so I can talk, and then
You just get one teeny little one.
yeah, I have this crystal that Lucinda gave me, and it's a palm. It's like a worry stone, and it's out of cut quartz and everything. And I have it on the desk in front of me, and that's where I put my cough drop on when I'm trying to talk and yet have a cough drop, which I'm doing now. Cough drop number 2.
Cough drop
Ricola.
breath.
You make them stretch, Sam.
Oh, I do. I do.
Yeah, yeah.
Until then I get the throat relief, and then I can talk better again. And I pop it out of my. I don't remember, like twice now on the show, I've almost choked to death from cough drops. So.
Oh no! Put your hands
Yeah, I
up.
had the halls, the cherry halls, they're round and they have a tendency to want to go back through your throat when you're trying to talk. Where the Ricola
Yeah,
is
they're
sort
big
of,
as well. They're huge.
yeah, the Ricola is kind of squarish round, so you don't end up slipping it in your mouth and then gagging on the damn thing. And then the early, when we first like show 1 and show 3 or show 4 or whatever it was, I almost choked on a cough drop while trying to talk.
No.
I went, I'm not doing that no more.
Yeah, no.
How embarrassing. You know me, I don't like to embarrass myself. I do that enough already.
That's funny. I'm working on this video that Tara shared with us from the first of the video, the show, about that
Yeah,
little
I can't get
creature
much from
fly.
this picture other than the sun is
Yes,
shining through the
I'm
trees
slowing
and
it
the storm
down,
clouds,
so-
except the blue. The dark blue in the background is very, very planety.
Yes. Sure looks like it.
Yeah, Nicole needs to see that thing flying through the sky.
Uh-huh.
That was weird.
And Jesus.
That
And
was-
we have more than
Wow.
one sighting of it, so it's not an anomaly, it's an
Right.
actual occurrence.
I actually sent that into one of the group chats in 2 different videos. Like there's 2 different videos that I sent in that there's
Yeah.
2 different people that go over at least 2 of those or more. So yeah, there's a multitude of captures of it.
Wow.
The little thing flying by.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the little
Yeah.
tiny, it looks like a little cigar flying under the sun, but above the clouds.
Yeah, and in the previous
Yeah, you
video,
can
we
see it
saw it
looks
above
like
the
a
sun from there
dragony
angle.
thing. It's kind of wild.
Okay.
Hey, Nicole, do I sound any better or?
You sound great. Yep, yep,
Okay,
yep.
good.
Very perfect.
I
Can hear
figured
you
it out.
totally. Wonderful.
All right. Oh, that was it. I love that one. The mountains right there. We don't have anything remotely close to that in Oklahoma.
Yeah, that looks like
Yeah, it
Lolo
looks like
Peak to
that
me from
across
the
the
other
bay
side.
on the Black Isle.
I live right next to one of those.
Gosh, I would love to
Okay,
get out
yeah,
to the mountains
it's
to go
totally
for a
flat
hike or
here.
something.
Flat. We have hills, like a little hill, but not mountains like that. No. So thank you, Maria, for sharing. Pretty. Okay. I'm getting that video. I almost have it ready. I was just slowing it down a little bit, and then we can take a closer look. I zoomed in on it and slowed it down.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I knew I waited up for something.
That's it.
I can sleep
That's it.
anyway for the next few
I know.
days.
I just looked at the time. I'm like, we have gone 5.5 hours. It's really gone by quickly
gosh.
today. You know?
Yeah.
5
really has,
hours
hasn't it?
already. I just laugh because we talk so much we don't know about. And then you think, oh, we didn't talk about much. And then you go back and you listen to one of these shows and it's like, oh,
Okay. I'm
Yeah,
sending you
and
over.
I wish we actually would, this is me. I wish we would, stick to more pictures and less sidebar. And guess who's the king of sidebar? Me.
I was
So-
going to say, what?
Yeah, I can't complain because I'm the one that goes off topic all the time.
you leave us skipping down Hansel and Gretel's little.
I mean, I must be one of those old guys that sits in the corner in the pub and goes, "Let me tell you this story, you youngins."
And
I think we encourage you a little bit too much, though.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to blame all of you guys because I've gotten old doing this, man. 14 years, man.
Why are we being blamed?
14 years. Jesus. How the hell did I do that? Where did the time go?
Baby.
God.
Just after baby.
13 didn't sound as bad as 14. Now it's just like, wow.
Right. No.
Every
And then-
single day. Well, I did take some Sundays off.
Few holidays, maybe.
Yeah, I do. I have taken a few holidays, and this is why I always underestimated like my 50 to 70,000 hours worth of research time plus. I mean, I think that's probably half of what I've done.
Look at
Right.
that little,
That thing. Uh-huh.
Okay.
look at that little mother sucker.
What?
Yep, that's
That's
And then
What in the
it's a
world?
dragon. No,
and then why don't
That's
we
the ship.
see it come out on the other side?
because it's illuminated and we've lost it in the sun.
Okay.
Yeah, she doesn't follow it. I don't think she saw it.
I'm
Just
just,
based on what.
I'm
She
just
said she
expecting
didn't
it to
know it
come
was there.
out of
And we've
this.
got more than one sighting of it, so we know
Right.
it's real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I gotta
that's
get
the ship.
other video.
Look how fast that thing is going, and it's going through the clouds. You know it's up around 35,000 feet.
And that slowed down.
And that's slowed down, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but look how it wiggles. Look how it wiggles.
Oh,
Maybe it's a space whale, a space shark.
this
Now they can land
initial,
sharks. Why can't we have space sharks?
this initial speed is
Baby shark, baby.
regular speed. This right here is actually not that right there. Sorry.
Baby shark.
I totally believe in the possibility of life forms out there that actually
That
just
is
live
the
in space.
original.
Whoa.
God,
That's
that
the
is
original.
freaky.
when I was kind of starting on my journey of learning, it's like one day, and I think this happened to probably everybody here, and then probably those listening as well. But all of a sudden, you get this thing where you have to start learning about certain topics, right? And that's kind of what happened to me. And then I ran to a lot of videos very similar to these that I cannot find anymore on YouTube. Back when YouTube first started, there was some crazy interesting stuff, but a lot of it has been scrubbed out of it. A lot of
There was
of
the
it.
Mothman and all these dragon sightings for years.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then
There was a lot of this, and they would call it. I remember the videos. They were calling them the sky serpents.
Yeah.
It was very interesting to see this because it was very similar to this, and there was a lot of VHS. It wasn't even, because now we have CGI and all that, but when you're talking about VHS videos catching this stuff, that's a little bit more difficult to
Right.
mess with, to add in, to kind of manipulate.
That
So
thing looks like it's paddling up there. That thing
What
is
if
like
that's the
waggling
Reaper?
from side
I'm
to
only joking, but I mean, remember we've been seeing the Reaper, but this is too small to be the Reaper cloud system, which is asteroids. It looks like a freaking Reaper, but oh my God, that looks almost alive.
That's
yeah,
the thing.
well,
Like it's
I'm
got
gonna
arms hanging off the front of it and everything. Is spooky.
Oh no.
Well,
That's
look,
got. It looks like fins or paddles or something. It looks like Nessie. It looks
I
like a
can blow it up
Nessie.
to even larger.
Looks like
That
Can
looks very
you?
similar to.
I
those
want to
videos
see
on
that
Star
larger,
Trek.
man. It looks like Nessie. That thing.
Well,
Mm.
we know it's at least a ship or it's alive. One of the two.
It seems
No,
organic.
get
to me.
bioship.
Or,
It looks
or
organic to me. It
That's
looks
a
like
bio.
it's alive. It looks like it's alive. And I do believe. And I know I don't want to take these guys as a reference because it's. But in what is it in Rick and Morty? Rick always says there's everything in space, and I kind of do believe that there is. I mean, life adapts to a lot of things. Look, they have found places in the Marianas Trench that are very toxic to life, and they have found creatures down there,
Life.
thriving down there. So
Yeah.
life is resilient, life adapts, and life wants to live. So just because
And if we were down that low, we would be, porridge.
Exactly. But just because it might be toxic to us, doesn't mean that there isn't some kind of life form out there that might adapt to it. Space is so big and so old that why wouldn't there be something that adapted to that kind of thing and even thrived?
And it is water up there, so like.
And remember, on the planets out there in the universes, all the billions of galaxies. I shouldn't say universes. I should say galaxies. We know there's billions of galaxies, and on every one of those galaxies are probably 1 million solar systems plus that can habit life, and the millions and millions of races that live in every one of those galaxies. We have to realize that we are not alone. And I have met 3 separate races face to face, no channeling, no crazy shit. So I know for a fact that they're there. And and this is why watch Star Wars, Rebecca. Watch Star Wars. You too, Jesus.
I know.
Watch
You
Star
too,
Wars.
Jesus.
Deuce.
We gotta watch it.
Same.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were debating
Yeah,
whether
yeah.
you saw it or
We've
not.
got to have one of those nights where we all watch it and then stop it and go, see, I told you.
that's what it's gonna
May
take
the
for me
fourth.
and Rebecca to see it. I think we're gonna have to do that a movie night,
Yeah.
and then
I
we have
think you're
to
going to enjoy it. I mean, I
think
promise it's just as good as Pickle Rick, if not better.
Pickle Rick. That's a
Okay, May the 4th
Isn't that
is
a great episode?
Saturday.
Pickle Rick.
Okay.
Pickle Rick. Yeah, that-
May the 4th is a Saturday, so that's going to interrupt my viewing for that Saturday. But I
Okay,
can watch
May
it
the 4th.
beforehand and I can watch it afterwards. So that's when the day on May the 4th, I watch all of the Star Wars movies I own, and I binge watch. And I put it aside and I tell everybody, well, it's my day off, but I'll do the show. But May the 4th is a Saturday, so.
What's Pickle Rick?
It's Rick and Morty is it's a kind of it's like a
Semi-adult
like a
cartoon.
cartoon that's based on like Doctor Who. I mean, even the opening credit song, and it's very much like the Doctor Who show. So they just go everywhere, and they actually, I can't figure out. Jesus, Chris, do you remember which episode it is where Rick takes Morty to a little alien civilization where they worship him and he's their creator, and they
battery
basically are
episode.
like,
You're talking about the battery episode.
yeah,
That
and like
was
Morty
the thing
figures
is-
out that he made them, and they're just like doing some kind of energy work, like it's like the perfect example of what it's like
Yes.
us, you know, it's a mirror.
And they're fixing to do the same thing with their own lower civilization too. So,
Exactly. Right.
you know,
Right.
and yes, that I found this is why I love that show, Rick and Morty's, because
Yeah.
they really talk about these things that you're like, huh, you can't help but really start thinking
And the
about that.
multiverse and all that
Yes,
stuff. They
yes.
just leave this verse, so they just go to another one.
Yeah.
It's great.
Plus, I mean, it's hard not to like Rick. He's
Yeah, yeah.
he's
Well, I
kind
don't
of he's like that villain that you just root for, you know.
Yeah, you have to love you. You hate the
Yeah.
love, you love the hate.
I
This
have
is
to
the
fully
one
admit,
problem.
I have not seen any Rick and Morty. I've seen them on
You
the
should-
shelf,
Really,
but I have not
Sam,
watched
really?
the show.
Okay, so now I
I
don't
would-
feel that bad about not watching Star Wars.
Hey, well, what
Yeah.
about Adventure Time?
Yeah.
I mean, I own the entire series of Adventure Time.
Never.
Adventure
I've
Time,
seen
come on,
it,
join your
but-
friends.
I've seen some of that, and I find it interesting, but I
Pickle
haven't
Rick.
really. Yeah, Pickle Rick.
Yep.
Pickle Rick.
Okay.
I think you would like it.
Okay, well
I
then
think
I'll
you like
start
it,
into the
William.
series. I'll get one of the early versions and work my way up. 'Cause,
Yeah,
you know, I
it's
like to
great.
buy myself a movie from time to time, and I don't get Netflix or anything like that. We
I-
don't have
I think
Disney
you
Channel or
might-
anything.
I think you might really take a liking to Rick, Sam. He,
Okay.
Rick and Morty.
he
Yeah.
has a way to him that is interesting. But
All
you
right,
just
it says there are a whole bunch
it-
of them, like Rick and Morty.
you can't
I've
help
sec-
but you can't help but really be his way of looking at the world is a little cynical, but very based on a lot of realities. So
Oh,
it's,
the Night People episode. That's a great one. The Night People. You saw that one, right?
Hmm?
You guys know that one? Jesus,
You're
you know
locked
that?
out.
I didn't hear any of that. It kind of cut off. What was that?
She's
Nicole?
giving out classified information.
Oh,
Yes, something's happening. So it's not just me. I didn't.
must be a good episode then.
That cut off. That cut off.
Here we go.
Yeah, I didn't hear any of that. Nicole.
That happened to me again, Jesus. Right before you got here, I was I was
Really?
starting to talk about the project that I was recruited for, and they blurbed me out. It's the only time I blurbed out on the whole show. And the
Yeah.
moment I start giving it out, they did it again.
Yeah, it always happens. There's always something. It never fails. Somebody told me was it yesterday, last night, that they've been going on to some of my videos that I've been posting lately, and then it takes them to a different link, to a different video. It doesn't even show them my video.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Michelle was telling me.
Yeah.
Michelle Cox was
Had
telling
that
me that she's been trying to watch some of my videos, and it just takes her to a completely different video. She even put a screenshot of the video that it takes her to, and it has nothing to do with anything that we've been doing. So I definitely think the eyes are on us.
The
a little
eyes
bit
of
more.
Texas are upon us. Yeah.
And it's gonna get worse and worse.
And
we've been
I will
seeing-
apologize to everyone if having direct contact with me does affect you, your phone, your laptop, your computer, or your life. I am terribly sorry. I'm doing my best. My non-disclosure agreement ended over a decade ago, and blame them for bad donuts or something else, or maybe they're
Well, it
drinking
comes-
Starbucks and they need to go to another brand. I don't know.
It comes with the territory, and I
Yeah.
think most of us are, it is what it is.
Yep.
It is what it is. So
It is
it's
what
not
it is.
surprising, and definitely not something that is going to deter me anyway. Whatever I've developed, I realized over the years that the best thing for your mental health is to not take things personal.
Yep.
And that's one of the best advice I can give anybody, especially when it comes to this topic. Just understand that there's a lot of people who don't see what we see, and they they lash out, and of course, this is a pretty crazy topic, so in a way I kind of understand, a lot of it, and I try to shrug it off, but yeah, it doesn't bother me nearly as much as it used to bother me, But I have my days. Where I do see myself fighting back, and then I catch myself and I just laugh. Like, what are you doing? Just let it go. So yeah.
Yep, just go about our business and do our thing, and we'll keep reporting
Jesus
to everybody. And,
Leandra. Sorry, Sam. Go ahead.
oh no, I just said we just do our job and we'll just keep on reporting what we see. And
Mhm.
you know, it's not like we're intentionally going, oh, these mean guys are doing this to us, and we're not pointing fingers at anybody. We're not blaming anybody for what's going on, including the Anunnaki or anything like that, or the demigods, or the powers of the be, or the governments, or the French, which is a joke. I always blame the French, you know.
Hey, we all have a job to do. You know, we all have a job to do. You know, our job is to put this information out there, and unfortunately, for every action, there's going to be a reaction. You know,
Right.
there's somebody else's job out there is to stop us from talking about this, and may the best one win. You know.
Yep.
And so, at least we have truth on our side. You know, we have truth on our side, and you know, I think the truth always comes out.
That's right.
You know, the truth always comes out. You know, we're you know, lies never. They only last for so long until people start seeing things. You know.
Right. And since I got on, you know, since I met Rebecca and got on Nibiru Followers Anonymous, there has never been a time where this information has been forced down my throat at any point in time. Nothing like that. You know, if you don't like the information, you don't have to do it. You know, just keep doing you. But this is real, and that's what Jesus is saying. We're here to report it, and that's what we're doing.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Jesus, did you
We're
see?
here.
I don't think you were here. You know, I know you weren't. Christopher's dad sent in 2 pictures.
Awesome.
Christopher's dad.
Really, we got.
Yeah,
something
let me
from
get them. Let me get it.
Way to go, Chris's dad.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
It's like,
You
I
should
know.
have seen the
Way to
first
go.
picture he sent me.
yeah, that's a big
Nice.
deal. Big deal.
Wow, he's
That's
progressed.
It
awesome.
is.
Right? I
Perfect.
mean, shoot, he's got better pictures than I do this week.
Oh, wow!
No, I asked my daughter to
One
take a
and
picture.
this one. These
Wow.
2 he sent.
Holy
So-
crap!
And those are-
Look at
those
the
Where
are-
are these?
picture.
Where are these from? Where's your dad? Chris.
He's in Maine.
Wow.
Oh, nice. So he
Right.
is on the east
Yeah,
coast looking
totally.
out.
Way
Yeah, he's
up
like
on the
right
east
there
coast,
on the, you know, on the right there on the coast of Maine. So, you know, sea level,
Oh boy,
Yeah.
definitely. So yeah.
safer than South Carolina right now. Currently, I
I
could
would-
add.
And I've said this. I think right now, because things are so close to Samoa's in the higher elevations, I think the people in the lower elevations are getting a better view. You know, because it's a little bit more distant for them. So
Yep, Yuri.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I hate
Yeah.
to jet, guys, but I am going to call it. Thank you so much for having
Okay,
me.
Nicole.
And we will
Yes.
see you guys soon.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
It's good seeing you,
Yeah, it was
Nicole.
nice.
Hi. Likewise.
Always nice to say hello to you, Nicole.
Right.
Always nice to
Right.
see
Likewise. Likewise.
We'll see you
And
here in
feel
a few
better,
days.
Julian. We
We
will.
know you're
Okay.
busy with family life, so enjoy and be safe.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
forget
Be
your own
safe.
chant.
All the
Grounding and
Oh,
home chant.
Right. All right. Have a great night, guys.
Okay.
Good
Bye,
night.
Bye,
Nicole.
Nicole. Thank you. See you
later.
next
Yeah, I
week.
think I'll also pop out now because I need to go sleep.
Okay, Jillian.
Okay,
You
Jillian.
do that.
Good
Yeah.
night, everyone.
You're not going to miss anything. We'll talk to you later, Jillian.
All right.
Get
Night
some
to night.
rest. Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, bye, Jillian.
Bye.
Hope
Bye
you
bye,
feel better.
guys. Thank you.
Yeah, you're.
Now help me get out of here, please.
I can. I can. Okay. Bye-bye, Jillian.
Push the button.
That's a tough but
dun.
I do that when I'm trying to get off of like TikTok Live. I'm like saying bye, and then I can't get my way out of there. So it's embarrassing. But I know. I mean, we are at almost 6 hours, guys.
Yep.
Wow.
So what would you like to?
Well, anytime if you're out of pictures and anytime you're ready to go, you just let us know, and then I'll always go find something
Yeah.
to do. I could post '90s music all night long. I'm
take another
joking.
Claritin.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hopped on for a little while. I didn't expect you guys to be. I know I was catching the end of it, but I just wanted to
glad
hop
you
on
came
for a little
in.
while and just say hello to you guys and everybody else. But whenever.
Right.
Somebody has a police car.
I live down the street from like 2 hospitals, so
Oh, man.
I'm numb to it.
I
so
bet.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
But
been
anyway,
watching videos on people that drive from town to town, and they've been doing the towns of Texas, and I see the towns of Oklahoma and Pennsylvania, and you name it. And these little tiny towns, there's a guy that does it, and it's mind numbing, and you could sit and stare at for 45 minutes and not be concerned about the world for once. And I do that sometimes, where I'll break into something that's just educational and yet not connected to anything I want to really chase
Right.
down. I am really interested about that anomaly. I wasn't until I cross-referenced the GJ2 2024 GJ2 asteroid, and we cannot trust what they tell us as far as the size goes. And they did give the lunar units, angstrom units versus lunar units, which was good because then it's easy math. And then you take the math and then you times it by 265,000 miles approximate distance between Earth and the Moon, which is one lunar unit.
Okay.
And then you can, I haven't even really checked the NEO list recently, but it wouldn't have done any good because it was a 2-day. There'd be a lot of my systems going. Is it me?
Okay.
Am I patching
what
out?
are you talking about, Sam? It's
I'm
doing
talking
it
about the
again.
possibility. I am
Yeah.
talking about the possibility that there are more asteroids coming in than just that one. And because it was 2 days old, and I was trying to teach how to look up NEO on the, I don't know how much you didn't hear. So you go to the NEO list and you take into account lunar distances, LUs is 265,000 miles. And you multiply when they give you the distances like 0.05 lunar units. So you multiply that times the 265,000, and it'll give you, I think, or do you divide it? Okay, my brain isn't working. 6 hours, but I believe you multiply it, and it'll give you the distance.
Wow.
Between that 265,000 miles will be your number. It'll tell you and this is why a lot of times they'll talk about, this asteroid's coming in, and it's like 3.2 AUs, which is angstrom units, which tells you it's somewhere around 200 million miles away. And I'm all worried because this asteroid's crossing Earth, and it's like 200 million miles away, farther than our sun. What the hell are you talking about? And they do a lot of that. So I'm trying to, and so they took it off. The lunar units is what it used to standardly run on, and now they bumped it up to AU, angstrom units, 94 million miles. Distance between the sun and Earth is 94 million miles, so that's one angstrom unit. So now they've got that. So it's harder to do the math, but and then you can, in some cases, you can switch the meter to LUs.
Anomaly west of Africa.
Go to the NEO. It's neo.gov. Near Earth Object Listing.gov, and they'll show you what they're talking about and what's coming and what they know about. But the new stuff can come right out of the darkness and hit us in a matter of days, and they've proven that.
Wow.
The shit can just suddenly appear, and there it is.
Aaliyah, she didn't get here in time, but what we were talking about was this possibly being an effect of an asteroid, or right?
Yeah, an asteroid splashdown.
Splashdown.
Because we were, if somebody could tell me the
GJ2.
date of this anomaly, if it was the 11th.
I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, I want to say yesterday. I'll clarify.
Well, okay. Did they put it out yesterday because it had happened the day before?
Right. I'm going to find out. Maybe.
See if you can see a date on this at all. Because they were talking about it coming in, and I was live and I was paying attention, and that's, I was also getting on the computer for staff meeting, and it even shows up in the weather pattern. How interesting.
Okay, ocean anomaly date.
Yeah, I think it was the day after the eclipse, actually.
Right.
I think Michelle, I think you're right.
Well, that's the day
April.
they discovered it was the day after the eclipse, and then the next day was, I believe, the 11th that it came in.
It was April
That was-
10th.
Okay, weird.
April 10th.
So that would have been before that. So maybe there was another one they didn't talk about that came in before that, or it's a computer glitch, which is what they told everybody.
Yeah.
It was computer glitch.
I really don't buy that. I really don't. I don't know.
So
25
it was-
foot or was it 25 meters, or was that 85 feet? What did we just see?
I think it said 85-foot waves.
That if that was an 85-foot wave, that wave would have
In
hit
all
the East
directions.
Coast. That wave would have hit the South America. The wave would have hit
Yeah.
Southern Africa. If that was an 85-foot tall wave, we would have seen a
We would have-
tsunami go around the world.
We would have hundreds of boats in that area. that
Oh yeah,
crossed-
yeah.
Tsunamis.
Yeah,
they're not-
the
if
tsunami
something
would
did
have.
happen
We've
and
been
they're
hearing
not
about
reporting
villages
those-
that are wiped out in
Exactly.
South America and the side of Africa and all of that.
Right.
That was an
Okay.
85-foot wave. The tsunami that occurred in Japan was in one area was 95 feet,
It
but
was
for the generic most of the shoreline was somewhere 35, 40 feet. So, and that, not meters, but feet. And that did massive, and their seawalls were like literally 25 feet in most cases.
their seawalls.
And it
were
depends on the
nothing.
town. If you get a refractive double wave, then it's going to be increase the size of the wave. It'll bounce off one edge, hit another edge, and then bounce in again, because it's sort of like a pool ball. And that's what happened to Sri Lanka in the 2009 or whatever tsunami that killed roughly estimated at a 250,000 people, and that was because of the offshore Indonesian earthquake right at the plate line. And there was a lot of people that got killed by that. So if you ever see the water going out and you're standing on the shoreline, run. Right then. And we've had that happen a couple of times where the boats were, the guys would go in the morning and they went out to their boats and they couldn't even see the sea. But that was a duration long standoff for like a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour. And so there was no tsunami. And we believe that had to do with the roll of the planet with the change of the mid-ocean bulge, like a planetary tip, where the entire tide and that happened on the west coast of South America. And they went out to their boats in the morning and there was no ocean. And there was numerous reports of that many months in a row. And it happened all over the world, and then it vanished. And let's talk about the high tidal waves that hit Los Angeles this year. And it happened again in the UK this week also. The UK got a really unusual southern part of the UK got hit with some freak waves. So it's entirely possible that maybe they did get some level of a tsunami that was not announced. And they would do that only if there was more coming in. They didn't want to get people aware to start the progression of panic. And if there are more kind of coming in, do check the NEO list. Maybe they'll announce it. Maybe they won't. Keep watching the skies.
It's the reason why it's important to pay attention and do your own observations, guys, because they're not going to tell us anything. They're not going to freak people out and put people in a panic. They are absolutely not going to do that. Do not expect disclosure when it comes to this stuff. They're not going to do it.
And if they did and you tried to bug out, everybody would be bugging out. And then before you know it, the cars would fill the highways and no one would get anywhere. And this is the problem with our civil defense situation. There is no way to evacuate millions of people. It's not possible. So
where exactly they're going to evacuate them to? I mean,
right. And then are you
this is why this is the reason why I don't freak out too much, because what exactly are you going to do? Like, there's really nowhere really to go.
Stay with your stuff. Be ready to. Well, now if Yellowstone blew up, I would have like under 60 minutes to get the hell out of here, and then we'd see it go off in the sky, and I had better run west. Period. So and they're talking about that too. And oh God, Naples, Kepi, the
Campi Flagrei or Campi
Flagrei.
Flagrei.
Right. I read it today, and I knew I was going to remember it, and I didn't. Yeah, that is really active right now.
Yeah.
Seriously, they are warning people now. And they don't have any way to evacuate 5 million people.
Right. It's like basically the
And
same
it's
thing
going.
as Yellowstone is. It's like this super volcano. It's like right off the coast of I don't particularly know where it is. My wife is all into this stuff.
It's
You know,
on the
before
side of Naples.
yeah, before I got
It's
into
right
all
beside
this,
Naples.
somehow she knew that, you know, all these volcanoes were going off, and I'm trying to tell her, no, it's because of, you know, we have so much information at our fingertips. It's probably always like this, right? No, it's not.
Nope.
Right.
It's,
All these
it's off the
records are
charts.
being set. That reminds me, I do have some clips of weather situations if you want to take a look real quick.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sound good, okay?
the captain.
We're seeing
Well aware. I even read it. It is really, really active. They've raised the warning level because it is really acting up.
Yeah, and we're seeing in Geomagnetic Earthwatch was saying we're seeing earthquakes in areas that we don't normally see earthquakes. I mean, we had a whole series of them recently.
Well,
I'm
the
not
entire
sure
Rocky
where it
Mountains
was.
moved this morning from Canada to Utah.
Well, you know, we've been feeling tremors here, and they've been telling us that it's due to
Really?
the military destroying some
No,
I don't know, engines or something. And I'm like,
the
really?
the Rocky Mountains is moving. The San Andreas Fault is moving. The Seven Sisters, all the volcanoes in Washington State are more active. Like I said earlier today, there were 5 medium-sized earthquakes to the east of San Francisco Bay today. So, and they were all at the same time. So they were big, and there's a huge population there.
Interesting.
Yeah, San Francisco Bay, and then east, and that's where all those people live is off the, and all the way up to the mountains up there, and
Which
that
is
whole
another thing. Another thing that comes in. And again, I hate quoting scriptures, but there's a lot of it says that when we start seeing earthquakes in areas that we don't normally see them, that's the time to start paying attention.
and the signs in the sky and the pestilence, and now the bugs are all, and the cicadas are all blooming, and we're seeing planetary objects flying by and bodies in the sky, and the warnings, and we saw the Null asteroid, and we seeing the Devil comet, and we're seeing the eclipses, and
the moon will what is it, shake like a drunkard. We've been seeing that, how the moon's shadow is not in the right place. It's the moon, and everything with the moon is just not normal.
Yeah, and 1 hour it's in the south, and then an hour later it's all the way up in the north sky.
That's right.
Which it's not supposed to do. It's just supposed to go east to west, not south to north. And we've seen that, I don't know how many times in the last 5 years.
That's right. That's right.
Before you play anything, Rebecca, I've been told it's dinner time, so.
Oh, okay.
Gotta get there too.
Yeah. Well, we can hold off. It's not. We can save it for another show, even. So
Okay,
it's kind of late.
I have to.
I realize. Yeah.
Yeah, we did just go past 6 hours, so we can end it right here.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm hungry too. I haven't eaten anything.
I am too. I know you talk about it. I'm like, yeah, we probably should end it here. So.
We call it. I'm fine with that too, guys.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave everybody with scary earthquake.
You're good.
Actually, we need an intervention. So otherwise, we just can't stop. So.
We're leaving everybody with scary earthquakes and shit that's about to happen all over the planet, and that's a great place to end the show.
Yeah.
Be on the lookout. Yeah.
And if
pay attention to your local weather, to your local, I don't know wherever you live. If there's, I live over 3 major fault lines, so I pay attention to earthquake activity and all that kind of stuff. But depending on where you're at, just pay attention to what your local, what you're prone to, whether it's flooding, whether it's earthquakes, whether it's whatever it is. Just pay attention to that, because again, you're not going to see this on the 7 o'clock news. You have to be self-taught, so
you have to go out and look for that
information.
Yeah,
you
you're getting dark out there.
And there's a lot of good source of information out there, guys. You just have to look for it. We have a lot of instruments, a lot of apps, a lot of things that could tell you what is happening in your area. So pay attention to those. I like I've been really recently the geomagnetic guy. Even though there's some things I don't agree with him, he goes a little religious often, but I do like that he does some really interesting research and science based research. So he's interesting to pay attention to. Sometimes.
Another voice.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So,
All
lot of
right,
good
everybody.
That can't help
We will
that.
see you again
Right, we'll
on
be back.
Tuesday.
see you Tuesday, guys. That's
Okay.
7 or 6 Mountain Time. I don't know what time.
Right. 7 Central, 6 Mountain.
Six
Yeah.
Mountain.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. So
If anybody has questions still, just message us on the messenger on
Right.
Facebook. We'll be
Like,
more than happy
subscribe,
to
hit
answer
the notification
questions
buttons.
you have.
Be sure to comment on the YouTube videos. Please go back and watch the show again on YouTube because we want to grow Rebecca's views and her likes so
that's
that
right.
she can get that silver shield
Yeah,
and a
Right.
million views.
The
Let's
YouTube
go.
button.
Let's go for
Oh,
it.
yes. Okay. I was like, what is that? Okay. Yes. we're
Smash,
getting there.
smash the like button, share, subscribe, and we'll see
Right.
you guys next week.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna leave first. Good night, everybody.
We're going. It's a
All right,
race. Bye, guys. See you
Have a
later.
good night.
All
See
right.
you.